This podcast has language that some people may find offensive.
You're listening to Opie Anthony. On the Virus, Sirius XM.
This is Jocks, the rise and fall of Opie and Anthony. I'm Matt Provenzano.
But enough of this palaver. Let's get the show on the road.
Episode 3. It's cold out here. On January 11th, 2002, a new guest came onto the show for the first time. A comedian, 39 years old, not quite a household name like Seinfeld, brought into studio by Rich Voss. This man was Patrice O'Neal.
He's introducing Patrice to Ant and I and our listeners. Patrice is a really funny guy.
Probably one of the funniest comics out there. He's a creep as a human.
Is he funnier than you?
Yes.
Ask anybody. Ask anybody who hasn't seen me and seen Voss, they know I'm funny.
Patrice instantly became a favorite guest among the listeners.
This is what he does. He thinks he's a made man. He's going to bring me up Opie and Anthony show and make a complete jackass out of me because he's a regular guest. He's like, come on in, everybody. Did he tell you this is a pinball machine that's broke? Hey, secretariat. Hey, everybody. Like he's bringing me through the back entrance and the Goodfellas like, he thinks he's Ray Liotta now. He sucks.
Here's Patrice O'Neal describing himself on The Late Show with Jimmy Fallon.
I'm into isms. I'm a big time. I'm a sexist. I'm a racist. But it's fun. And I don't know how to explain it, but I
think you just did. That's pretty good. Yeah.
And I think that says it all. He was big, loud, and funny.
It was horrendous. I gotta see it again. It was terrible.
What was special about Patrice O'Neal was his ability to pick apart taboo topics and sum them up in a way where you would understand him and almost agree with him.
If you want to destroy a man's fucking arrogance, what do you do to do that other than use your pussy?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Do you hear it? She's doing the singing because she really don't have an answer. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Agree or disagree with his crazy opinions, you couldn't not listen.
She goes, oh yeah, and you go, yeah, you just look like your pussy's all filthy.
His presence demanded attention.
You know how you get the asshole? You eat the pussy, lick the asshole, and it feels good, then you put a finger in it, and then the bitch wants to do something. Want to know how you pee on your girl? In the shower. Want to know how to get her to suck your dick? Slap her in the face with it.
In one episode, he would talk about how, in his opinion, men are naturally better than women.
Her vagina is the only thing keeping her at the level of you mentally. But you're better than she is. Never forget it.
And then minutes later, he would be dissecting the series of Friday the 13th movies.
Then 3 was 3D, but it was great because the girl got shot in the eye, and that's when the hockey mask came. Then 4, Corey Feldman. Chopped him in his head, killed Jason. Yeah. Final chapter. But then 5 came back, and how do you know this is fantastic?
He could say crazy nonsense all day. He could infuriate people. He could sound like a cold-hearted bigot. But he was real, and he was hilarious. He would talk about his favorite sexual positions.
So my thumb's in the pussy, I'm grabbing the ass, I'm sucking her titties, she's sucking mine.
And then he would have a serious discussion about racism.
And this country's so racist, and just because your skin color and you're fucking not white, but you embrace white. You're white because of your skin color, but not really because of who you are. You're not from whiteness.
Patrice had a quality that many comedians struggle to maintain. He was real.
How many times do you have to deal with a particular group in a situation before you're allowed to go, I don't like them?
Yeah.
I don't scream like, oh, you're a racist so fast because, look, I tip a lot, but I know there's black people that don't understand tipping.
Oftentimes he battled depression and dealt with anxiety about his career. But rather than keep his emotions inside, not only would he share his thoughts, he would broadcast them to the world.
You just go, hey, man, you're funny, you fucking do things, you laugh, make people laugh, and it's all good, right? Fucks no, nigga. It drives you crazy.
Patrice wanted everyone to know that he was real. It was the most important thing to him.
There's a lot of prosperous people who no one respects, no one likes as a human being. but they just are prosperous.
Yeah.
And their
Doing
families
well.
are prosperous.
But maybe
and
they're
just
fucking miserable.
pieces of dog shit.
Maybe they're miserable.
Couldn't be more miserable than me.
All right.
When discussing the best episodes of Opie and Anthony, Patrice is usually a part of it. It's raining stuff.
How real guys change the lyrics to like men's, it's raining stuff. Yeah, hallelujah, it's raining things. And it's all wet out here. It's raining stuff. Let yourself get absolutely, yeah. It's raining stuff. Oh, it's raining things. Watch out. Shit is flying around. The fuck was that?
It's cold out here.
I lean my seat back. Now, I
What
drive.
time is this about?
About 3 in the morning. Put my my skylight up. I look in the sky and shit, just fall asleep. I lean back. After about good 5 minutes of sleeping, my eyes open. Then I look to my right, out my passenger side. There's a guy looking in my window. I go, what's up, man? He goes, it's cold out here. This motherfucker gets into a Subaru Outback with a Christmas tree on top. He was gonna suck strange black dick before he went home to take a Christmas tree to his fucking family.
The Up and Down Game with Bobo.
The next time I'm at the Stress Factory, I might get her one of those finish me off.
Oh, the fucking patient waiting.
The Threesome Story.
This girl immediately down and start sucking my dick. You gotta understand, in threesome land, you go, yay! In threesome land.
Patrice was one of a kind.
Straight down and did her job.
People who didn't listen to Opie and Anthony probably know him best as T-Bone in Arrested Development, Lonnie in The Office, or as the host of Web Junk 20. But on Opie and Anthony, the world got the pleasure of seeing Patrice O'Neal for who he was. After listening to Patrice discuss whatever happened to be on his mind that day, listeners got the sense that they really knew Patrice.
I was sitting there.
You didn't pull any Boys in the Hood shit?
That's what I was doing. I love that one. I fucking was punching the air. Like, what the shit is fucked up?
In their 20 years of radio broadcasting, Opie and Anthony have had some unforgettable episodes. There was the one where Louis C.K. wouldn't stop asking if former U.S. Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld is actually a lizard.
I don't know if anybody's ever asked you directly, sir, but are you a lizard?
I don't think
Are
he's a
you
lizard.
actually? Can you just please give that a straight answer?
And Rumsfeld never said no.
Can you imagine if I answered that question?
Absolutely.
Listen, and these are great questions, Anthony, and they're questions that Mr. Rumsfeld is going to answer better than almost anybody in the world.
Yeah.
But I still want to know if he's a lizard.
And if he is, stop it.
If he's tasted human flesh.
Oh, stop.
How about the episode where conspiracy theorist and former WWE wrestler Jesse Ventura comes on the show and got into an argument with Jimmy?
When we are attacked by I Feel a Nation, we should not...
It should be proven first.
I feel we proved it, you feel we didn't. You also feel that fucking Bush was behind 9/11, so we're always going to disagree.
Hey, don't put fucking words in my mouth. You know, if you're not going to let me talk, I'm out the door.
You've been talking the whole time. All you do is yell over people, and you don't want to address point by point.
It got so bad that he left the show.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Jess. You always just sulk and walk away. Why? You put words in my mouth.
There's a fucking guy here telling me I got a schedule.
You're using dirty language, asshole.
Bye, tough guy.
Bye, tough guy.
And thanks for your service to our country.
You're welcome. Thanks for touching me with your fucking stupid riff-raff from fucking Rocky Horror hairdo.
What about the episode where Anthony began trashing Sarah Jessica Parker after watching the MTV Movie Awards the night before?
They had that Sarah Jessica Parker hosting. She was horrible. Ruth Buzzy in a dress. Her face is looking like Ruth Buzzy.
And Sarah Jessica Parker calls in.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Hey,
Hey,
who's this?
you're not Sarah Jessica and Anthony. Parker.
Oh, these are the fellas that were just trashing me. Are these the guys? You don't have the balls to actually say to me what you said to your maybe limited audience? Come on, buddy.
There's the episode where Amy Sutherland, author of the book How to Train Men, called into the show to promote her book and was instead severely mocked to the point of hanging up.
So would you rather be bossed around, or would you like to have somebody say thank you and smile at you when you did things they like?
I would like it to be a partnership with my girlfriend because she was always a good dresser. She'd have sweaters and little red shirts and just massive gums and little teeny teeth. Ah! What's the matter?
I just saw a picture of Amy.
What I want to do is discuss the issue.
Oh,
Hello?
I just heard a click. Geez.
Hello?
There's the classic episode where Opie and Anthony claimed that the 101st caller would receive $100 grand.
Did I win?
You are the 107th caller.
I won!
When the excited caller seemingly won, it was revealed that he had won a candy bar, the $100 grand.
We gave away $100 grand. It's a candy bar, bro. Congratulations.
What?
You just won a candy bar.
Hey, what the you been I've been listening to radio for like 3 hours, man. You said $100 grand.
Yeah, $100 grand. We gave you a candy bar. Congratulations, buddy.
Oh, you guys are a bunch of douchebags.
Since Opie and Anthony broadcasted themselves live every weekday for years on end, listeners felt that they really knew Opie and Anthony personally. The more they listened, the more traits they would pick up of each other's personalities. Each member of the team had their own quirks, likes, dislikes, faults, strengths, and a job title. Opie was the leader of the ship. Opie's job was to steer the show in a good direction. If it wasn't for him, the show would go off the rails on random topics. Sometimes he was really good at this.
Patrice, you gotta tell your story.
Oh, shit.
Dude, that is a funny fucking story, man. That is a really funny fucking story.
And other times, he derailed great conversations.
Third one in.
All right, hold on.
Nope, I haven't seen it yet.
I got the game. Hold on. Patrice.
Opie would also take calls from listeners who wanted to get a word in.
Let's say hi to Larry in Indiana.
Anthony was a clown. He bounced off Opie and Jim's ideas and made radio gold out of it.
I've been asked to donate my genetics.
Oh, really?
Yes, I have been.
What, to a fucking fish hatchery?
His strengths lie in his extensive knowledge of history and pop culture.
They fucking caught him and threw him in the ocean like how you would flush cocaine down the toilet when the cops kick in your fucking door.
We needed that terrorist, Karen!
Karen! How could you flush the
They wouldn't have found him! We needed that terrorist!
Sorry!
But for all of Anthony's comedic strength, he struggled to reveal himself personally in front of the microphone, a trait that made Jimmy stand out from other comedians.
I had what could be the worst sex in North America last night.
Oh, wow.
I was so awful. Picture getting onto a trampoline, and you're going to have fun, and you jump twice. Both times that you jump, your body is not like standing up as straight as it should be anyway. You're
right.
Kind of like, you just like no bones in your body jumping. You're slumped over and mushy.
Right.
You jump twice, and then you can't jump anymore because something happened.
Oh, my God.
Anthony just wasn't that kind of guy. He made a joke out of everything. Jim Norton was the smart class clown. He would have listeners laughing until they cried.
Are we getting the pilot Chesley Sullenberger in for his new book called One Decision, 3 pages?
What is the thing called, the book?
I don't know.
It's called Fuck Geese. No, it's actually called Geese or Cunts.
And then he'd be debating religion 5 minutes later.
I don't have any agenda, pro God or against God, when I'm talking about this stuff. I'm not too sure where I stand on it. There's nothing at stake for me negative, but I would like to believe, brother, that God fucking made the planet and that you're right. I would really like to believe that.
That would rule.
It would be great to think that when I talk, God is actually listening to me.
He had several characters that he would perform on the show, like Uncle Paul.
They like that Uncle Paul.
They did. They always had. I would load them full of soda. Then you'd have to take them to the restroom. Dad, you watch the ball game. I'm going to take Timothy. It's embarrassing for the boy. He don't want the other people seeing his penis.
And Chip Chipperson.
He slipped and fell. They ought to say, what, are you paralyzed or something from an accident?
What?
Yeah. I'd be like, what happened? Why'd you fall in the snow for? What'd you have paralyzed in a fall or something?
I like when he emphasizes syllables.
Jimmy was a fan favorite.
What's going on today?
It was clear that the trio had fantastic chemistry, playing off of each other episode after episode. However, the more people would tune in, the more weaknesses became apparent. As I stated earlier, Opie would often bring jokes to a screeching halt.
She went against her entire concept for this book that she wrote.
All right.
Oh, God.
Look, it wasn't going to set the world on fire, I understand, but maybe some acknowledgement that I actually spoke would be nice.
And jokes bombed all the time on that show. That wasn't the issue. In fact, I had a sound effect that played specifically for when that happened. You would take a beating and then move on. But Opie wouldn't take a beating. Opie was sensitive, and his mood clearly controlled the room.
This is what you're fucking doing when Anthony's not here? He's just showing this shit.
Really? That's funny, Otto.
All right, I'm sorry.
It's a viral clip, all right?
He was just kidding.
And that's not to say Anthony was perfect. Let's talk about Anthony's racism. It was often played as a joke on the show, especially when black guests such as Patrice O'Neal and Chris Rock were on.
You hate black people.
I love you. I think you're great.
That doesn't count.
Why doesn't that count? You like black person.
Yes.
All right.
But it almost seemed like racism was something that Anthony wore proudly, like a badge.
I have
He's
never
pretty
said
much,
I'm
he's
not
never
a
said
racist.
much admitting that he's a
I'm not
racist now, Bill.
I am
He's
out
pretty
of the
much admitting
closet.
that.
I have.
My mother used to say, you know, when I'd ask her, hey, could you get me that or something, she'd be like, what do I look, 3 shades darker than you? You know, things like that. Innocent, fun things. You know, the Brazil nuts were called nigger toes at Grandma's house. Things like that. You know, if I fucking got $10 in my birthday card and I wanted to go to the store to buy something, my mother would say I'm acting like I'm nigger rich. She'd say things like that.
He often tried to back up his arguments and present a stream of thoughts that white America was afraid of thinking.
White people are afraid to confront them. They are fearful of black people because of what they see.
But would often lose his temper and just start screaming.
Shut up with your 200-year-old bullshit for a fucking word. You don't even know slavery, so shut up. Your father didn't know slavery. Your grandfather didn't know slavery. His father didn't know slavery. So shut the fuck up with slavery. God damn, enough with that fucking excuse.
In the spirit of painting a full picture, I would like to mention that in his book, Permanently Suspended, Anthony claims that he is not a racist at all, and what you hear on the show is an exaggerated character. But at the same time, it's pretty hard to defend that statement when he said things like this.
Calm down, dog. I'm trying to talk.
I don't like you calling me dog, nigga.
Oh, okay. I don't like you calling me nigga, dog.
What? It's just a friendly thing. I use the word and I don't care. I don't give a fuck. Right, and I'm racist. Ow, ow. I wear it like a badge when people call me racist. Like a badge, because I don't care.
I also think it's fair to point out that in 1994, when he recorded Gonna Electric Shock OJ, the song that got Opie's attention, he made a music video for it. And he played O.J. Simpson. And he was in blackface. Here's Louis C.K. commenting on Anthony's behavior.
You need to get inside the margins because you're going to get in trouble.
I love it. Oh, it's so much fun.
You're not quite in control of yourself.
You don't think?
Something you plus another factor that's not in your control besides you're gonna do some time if you're not careful.
Jimmy would also have his fair share of outbursts. It's kind of hard to listen to old Opie and Anthony with Jimmy just constantly yelling.
Yeah, your mother's a one-trick pony, too. When I give her money, she sucks my dick and eats my ass. You fucking fan with an opinion.
He tried to remain as fair as he could regarding any topic, but sometimes he just didn't know what he was talking about and would come across as a pretentious bully.
The way I addressed it, turn him down a little bit. You're not going to talk over me, scumbag fuck. Turn it down, turn it down, turn it down, turn it down. All the way down, please.
Down,
no, I can
Jimmy.
still forget.
When working a job with anyone for years on end, problems are bound to arise. But what was interesting about Opie and Anthony was that we as an audience got to watch it happen live every day. Sometimes it was clear that Opie's eggshell walk was tiring Jimmy and Anthony.
What's one thing you want to say?
You're a fucking horrible interview.
Not to Opie, to her.
I'm not. This blonde hair confused me.
Enough with the shit.
What? I'm kidding around.
I know, but enough.
He's joking. We all trash each other here.
Sometimes Anthony's race rants went a little too far.
You're not going to get 100% of Whitey to sit there with their guilt, kissing your black ass. Fuck you, and fuck your mother. Fuck you.
Sometimes Jimmy just flew off the handle.
Cunt really slows you down mentally, doesn't it? Go, Jimmy, go!
Kitchen, bathroom, toilet scrub.
After a while, they just couldn't fake it anymore. They still enjoyed doing the show. Who wouldn't? They were millionaires with the easiest job in the world. The hardest thing about the job was waking up early. But growing differences between the three made it difficult. Well, let me rephrase that. Growing differences between Anthony and Jim and Opie made it difficult. Throughout whatever turmoil the show went through, Anthony and Jim remained the same. They still played off of each other, they still made fun of each other, they still made the other person laugh until they couldn't breathe.
Well, I was diagnosed with AHBD. That's difficult.
What's that?
Adorable, huggable boy disorder.
Oh, so you're cured.
Yes.
And during all of this, Opie was watching. Keep in mind, this was a show he started back in 1995. And here he is on his own radio show, watching the two other hosts have a great time in studio while having a hard time to add anything of value or keep up with the wit of Anthony and Jim.
He blows it out and Elmer sits on it. Oh, what a scene.
But why was there a separation growing between Opie and everyone else? Because of the eggshell walk. There was also the fact that Opie seemed to go a little too far with his radio bits. Like there was the time that he invited a homeless musician into the studio to perform her song.
I love Dick, I love Dick.
And then he just smashed her guitar. The time someone came in with poker chips as a gift for everyone in studio.
What, are those good chips? I'm not saying that they're bad chips. Are they good chips?
They're old. They're probably from the 70s.
And then Opie threw them in her face.
Come on. No. Oh, God damn it. Oh, my God.
The time Opie filmed a person with a clear disability on his face and then posted it to YouTube.
Beat half a Hulk face. What's up, Scott?
How you doing?
You got a steady girlfriend?
Yeah, been together like almost 2 years.
Is she blind?
No, she's not blind. She's actually a college professor.
Oh, right on.
This was the kind of humor that Opie enjoyed, where he clearly shocked everyone in the room. He was a shock jock in every sense of the term. And then there was Cake Stomp. Let's talk about the Cake Stomp. How it would work was that Opie and Anthony would do their morning show for XM, where it was censored and they couldn't curse or go over a certain line. And then they would do K-Rock in the afternoon, where all bets were off and they could say whatever they wanted. The two different offices were across the street from each other, so they would walk down the block every day at 9 a.m. At some point, they decided to broadcast the walkover.
How long has he been with her? 25 years.
23.
You guys 23?
They have worked out.
They would interact with fans, random New Yorkers, cab drivers, anyone that looked funny.
Are you a little worried about a 17-year-old girl in your house?
No.
No?
That will do anything to stay in America?
Exactly.
And during the walkover, they would also come across homeless people, as you do in New York City. Opie and Anthony would befriend them, interviewing them live on air, giving them presents, and oftentimes inviting them into the studio where they were suddenly being broadcasted to millions. One of their poor friends was homeless Andrew.
Is this Andrew?
Hey, Andrew.
Wow, where
Back.
have you been? Look at this.
How you doing, Andrew?
I love
Where you
watching
been?
the decline of Andrew.
One day, Opie, Anthony, and Jimmy came across him sitting on the ground. Homeless Andrew brings out a cake to show the guys and says it's a present.
Oh!
What is it?
Wow, that
Wait, let me
looks
see.
good, but
Wait,
I am not touching it.
In true shock jock fashion, Opie takes the cake, jumps up, and stomps on it.
Oh! Come on. Oh, I had to walk away. Oh, no. I'm leaving. Oh, no. Oh,
You know, I earned that,
he didn't do that. Oh, he did not do that.
I earned that.
Oh, no.
Someone videoed the entire ordeal, which at the time the guys didn't think much of, and put it on YouTube, where it did more damage to Opie than anything else in his long career in radio. It became a topic of concern the day it aired, and then again 3 years later, and then again in 2015.
He was our pal.
Yeah.
We talked to the guy pretty much every day.
Every day on the walkover.
I haven't apologized or any of that shit. I'm just getting the facts out there as I remember them because I forgot all about this.
Listeners who didn't like Opie would use the Cake Stop video as fuel to intentionally fire him. The attempt never worked. On April 22nd, 2005, this is how the show started.
Jimmy just fucking set me off in bullshit.
Yeah, well, you annoyed me too, so I guess we're human.
No, it's bullshit, bro.
Say what you want to say, but I'm not some idiot. You're annoyed at me, I'm annoyed at you. It's life.
Basically, he thinks we blew off Sean Rouse last week.
Because you.
I didn't blow off Sean Rouse.
For 40 minutes, Opie and Jim had a war with words that was unheard of for the show.
So then you're like, well, you didn't have to go to the Joey Paisano phone call.
Well, first of all,
that's a judgment call.
I don't talk like that.
That's
And
a judgment
all,
call. I went to the
it is.
Joey Paisano call, and it was good radio. It was about gambling and addiction. You thought it stunk.
No,
Tough
I
shit.
didn't say it stunk. If I thought it stunk, I would tell you I thought it stunk. I didn't say it stunk.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
It could have waited till the next day because it wasn't something because he was only here for one day. I
Dude,
didn't say it stunk. If I thought it stunk, I'd tell you that.
Then you sit here and try to make
You
this
see, that's not a
make
valid
this
argument.
happen.
If I disagree
Sure
with
it
something,
is.
then don't ask people to
I have
voice
to make
their opinions.
Dude, I have to make judgment calls every fucking day.
This was one of the first times that a full-fledged fight among the hosts was broadcasted live on the air. But it wasn't just about Sean Rouse waiting outside. This was tension brewing between the two radio hosts for years.
So I have a problem with Sean Rouse.
I never said you had a problem with Sean Rouse. Stop misquoting me. Stop misquoting
Then what's
me.
the big deal that he didn't get a proper goodbye on the air? You're insane.
I'm not insane. It was
What's
just
the big
rude.
deal?
You're the one you were raving about what a great comic you think he is, how you wanted him to come on.
What is rude about forgetting to say goodbye to a guy when there's
nothing.
Dude, when there's so much shit going on.
What was going on?
Chris
Jericho
is here. I think we had something that we had to do at the show, you know. Make sure the show ends on time and in a nice fashion.
That's a lot of shit going on?
Dude, I don't know, dickhead, because I don't know what was going on that day, fuckface.
Oh, don't get all angry and yell. You can't say you want me to voice my opinion and then get so pissed off when I voice my opinion.
In a 2016 interview, Jim claimed that the reason for the blowout had more to do with Opie's growing sensitivity.
Are you really on the air trying to throw me under the bus with Hugh Pinero?
Well, now if you want to fuck around, Jimmy, let's fuck.
I'll fuck around.
Let's fuck around.
Go ahead.
I
say what I have to say on the air, always.
All your opinions, right?
Yeah, my opinion is this.
Since the argument took place on a Friday, the fans had the weekend to take to online message boards and speculate what had happened. People were left to assume that the clash was a friendship-ending one, and that Opie and Jim would never speak again. Many assumed that Jim's time on the show had come to an end, and that come Monday, they would be treated to Opie and Anthony and no Jim. And strangely enough, there was a large group of speculators who thought that the entire thing was a staged radio bit done to draw in more listeners. Even Opie's brother took to message boards to attack those with the more absurd theories.
You gonna tell me you didn't agree with it?
We weren't gonna do that. We were not gonna do that, you ass.
No, I'm saying you to tell me you didn't agree with it.
The channel blocking?
People, come on now.
No. The motives.
The issue.
The motives behind the reading, I'm saying.
On Monday, April 25th, Opie and Anthony were back on air. And this is how they started the show.
Now it's bullshit, bro.
I'm very calm.
You're insane.
Come on, man. I'm very calm. I didn't say that.
I don't blow off people that I like.
Right, no, you're right.
That is bullshit.
If you haven't guessed, that's Anthony playing with a soundboard that was created over the weekend of the various things Opie and Jim said to each other during the brawl. Opie and Anthony made a joke out of the whole thing.
You know, Anthony really didn't support his showmates. Him just sitting there. And then another one was like, him just sitting there is proof that it was all fake. Because he would have jumped in. And I'm reading these just going...
Jimmy wasn't there to give his 2 cents, not because of the fight, but because he was preparing to film his HBO special. Surprisingly, as vicious as this fight was, it didn't really have a long-lasting effect on the show or the relationship between the guys. It was just a spat in a long and bumpy career. There were so many more fights on the air, and even another personal one with Opie and Jim more than a decade later, but being one of the first times that the listeners heard the guys screaming at each other like this, it was the first window into what was going on behind the scenes.
You do focus on the negative a lot.
That is so sociopathic. I almost don't know how to respond to it.
But the fighting wasn't just in front of the mics, and it wasn't just between the hosts. There's someone else in this story that I haven't mentioned yet. Someone who you might be surprised has taken me this long to mention. You see, Opie and Anthony weren't the biggest names in shock jock radio at the time. Not by a long shot. That title goes to the one and only Howard Stern.
This is the Howard Stern Show.
May I see you topless? Would that be okay right now?
Howard Stern is the shock jock. I actually think it's unfair to call him just a shock jock, because it doesn't fully encapsulate everything he did for radio. He's the self-described king of all media.
I have turned radio around and made it a great medium.
He's the most fined radio host of all time. He didn't care about offending you or hurting your feelings. He just said anything.
You got those big fake tits and I'm Hollywood, huh? Shut the fuck up. I'm not kissing your ass now, cunt face. Fuck off. The fuck's wrong with her?
How shocking was Howard Stern? Just to think of a few examples, there was the time that Selena, a Mexican-American singer, was tragically shot to death at the age of 23. While Stern reported her death, not only did he criticize her music, he said that Spanish people have the worst taste in music, and he played gun sound effects in the background.
It's almost like you could not have it on or have it on, and my mood wouldn't change. Alvin and the Chipmunks had more soul. Spanish people have the worst taste of music. They really do. Let's dance to happy music. And big chubby girls in thongs, you know.
Is that Selena?
Yeah.
Besides his shock jock nature, Stern's talents lie in his natural ability to conduct an interview, getting legends like Paul McCartney, James Taylor, and Jon Stewart to spill their guts.
One person's love was enough for you.
Mm-hmm.
I find that mind-blowing.
It just was different, and I think both of us had got that out of the way, and we were kind of fed up with it.
And Opie and Anthony didn't like him.
We're the innovators. Everyone else will be ripping us off. Before you know it, it'll be sea breezes in the Hamptons, Robin.
All right.
That tool.
So we start from this point.
5 years of crap he gave us, too.
Oh, we got tons of stories. Tons.
Mr. Handle Your Battles on the Air. Mr. He mentions Opie and Anthony after we're kicked off the air.
I think it's fair to point out that Anthony was actually inspired by Howard Stern, as he would listen to his show on the drive to his original job, installing air conditioning units. He dreamed of getting on the radio from then on. It's also worthy to note that shortly after first appearing on Opie's show, The Nighttime Attitude, in the 90s, Anthony was a guest on Howard Stern's show.
What is your name?
My name's Anthony from Rod Gut.
Anthony?
He's doing an exaggerated impression of Howard's co-host, Robin Quivers.
Oh, yeah!
Anthony, do you have anything to tell us?
Yes, what's black and white and green?
What is that?
My wife having sex on the lawn with the colored. Oh, yeah!
When Opie and Anthony formed and reached success, Howard took notice. Usually, a shock jock would get his own show trying to ride the coattails of Howard Stern and then gradually fade out. But Opie and Anthony were different.
Every day, this fine little virus called the O&A radio show will just start spreading all over the country.
That's right.
And we'll get our audience back, and we'll be on top again.
Because that's how it works.
Howard would just refer to them as my clones across the street. But things got heated when Opie and Anthony revealed on air that Howard's daughter had been taken to the emergency room due to alcohol poisoning. Howard wasn't having it, and it got back to Mel Karmazin, who told Opie and Anthony to never mention Howard's name on the show again. It was later admitted by Howard himself that he got the company to issue a gag order, making it legally impossible for Opie and Anthony to mention his name on the show. There's an interview from Howard Stern himself that I very much wanted to include here, but the audio is too damaged, so I'll say what he said. Howard says, quote, "When I was in business, they hired Howard Stern imitators to go on in afternoons. The fact of the matter is, I said to Mel, I'm not interested. This is a fucking gimmick," unquote. The interviewer says to Howard, quote, "You say that they can't talk about or mention you, and you have the power because you're Howard Stern, and you're making all this money for the company. Isn't that a little hypocritical?" Unquote. Howard replies, quote, "Sure, maybe, but you know what? I win. They lose." Unquote.
Why'd you go to Mel Karmazin and say, you shut them up? Why'd you do that, Howie? I thought you fought your brave battles.
There was even an event where Howard was supposed to be speaking. He heard of the presence of Opie and Anthony and refused to go on stage until Opie and Anthony had been kicked out. Of course, this didn't stop them from talking about each other.
This happened all the time. Howard would constantly whine and cry.
DMA parties?
Mm-hmm.
Weren't allowed in the VIP room.
No.
I'm like, wait, we're working for the same company.
Nope.
Why aren't we allowed in the VIP room?
Unbelievable. What a hypocrite.
I mean, it's laughable. I mean, it's like the Howard Stern handbook. It's like guys making a living doing the exact same show. And then what I even love more is the Howard Stern imitators like to bash me. I love that. That's the thing that really is the best. Because they all try to act like they're doing something different.
Opie and Anthony have gone on record, even on late-night talk shows, to talk about how much they dislike Howard.
He generally is not a nice person.
Wow. All right.
They found out his daughter was in this avant-garde play where she talks about her vagina, so they turned it into a soundbite.
My breasts, my white shining legs, my vagina.
We got the Emily Stern remixes, Howard's daughter.
And the feud continued. There were fans of both shows who were just here for the fun, fans of the O&A show who would hold up signs and wow stickers at events supposed to be focused around Howard Stern, and Howard fans who would call on the O&A show and shout Baba Booey, a term that Howard fans would yell as a prank in support of his show.
John from Texas, what's up?
Yeah, boy, that one is short.
Jim Norton, get the fuck off the air. Baba Booey, Baba Booey, Baba Booey.
Oh.
Howard Stern was actually the unintentional reason that Opie and Anthony got the friends of the show that they did. Howard would get all the A-listers, the movie stars, the rock stars, the legends. So Opie and Anthony were left with sloppy seconds. They were usually regulated to guests like small-time New York comics, which turned out to be Rich Voss, Jim Norton, Patrice O'Neal, Nick DiPaolo, and Colin Quinn, among others. Still, to this day, Howard and the guys really don't like each other, but there is a level of respect. Opie took the situation way more personally than his radio partners.
People know. I mean, we've said it a million times, and we do have proof. Howard Stern fucking cock blocks people from our show. With guests.
In his book, Permanently Suspended, Anthony states that Opie wanted the fame and untouchability of Howard, but he never truly got there, and had a resentment as a result, on top of the other drama that happened with Howard. Here's Jim talking about the situation in 2018.
This fucking douche has been so obsessed with Howard. Do you know how embarrassing that shit was? Howard, shut up. I was in the hall when I met Howard. He sat at a table and kept his fucking face down at the table like a 6-year-old, scared that fucking the boss had walked in. I walked up to Howard and I'm like, hey, my name is Jim. He goes, I know who you are, man. He was really nice. And Ope sat 2 seats away, like in the lobby, just kind of staring down, not wanting. So stop it. Stop talking about people being obsessed. We worked with you for a long time. None of us like you.
How did it get to this point? Next time on Shock Jocks. Radio starts cleaning house.
XM satellite radio DJs Opie and Anthony, they're under fire now. Are O&A next?
Shock Jocks was created by me, Matt Provenzano. The music you are hearing was made by Brad Fry. The first part of the theme song is Gang With No Name by Tex-Mex from Director's Cuts. It can be found on extrememusic.com. The second part of the theme song is Don't Stand Alone by Set It Free under Gas Can Music. The album artwork was created by Nick Balsamo. Thanks for listening.